Hello, everyone. My name is Krishna Gupta, and welcome to my podcast, Krishna Connect. Today, we are joined by Giorgi Danelia, a pioneering figure in the Georgian UAV industry. Over the past 5 years, Georgi has excelled in building, programming, and flying drones. His dedication to advancing FPV technology has made him a leading expert and promoter of this field in Georgia. As the president of the Georgian UAV Federation, Georgi leads efforts to grow and collaborate within the industry. He's also a respected UAS trainer, sharing his knowledge and experience with both professionals and enthusiasts. So, Georgie, can you tell us more about your field of work and can you explain what FPV technology is?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Krishna, for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Please tell.
My name is Giorgi. I've been working in the FPV industry for 5 years. Basically, it started as a hobby, and now we transitioned into like a full-time
Oh, yeah.
uh, work.
Yeah.
So the FPV, like you need to understand like past 5 years to understand like how FPV came to the place where it
Right.
is right now.
Yeah.
Okay. In 2015, this is where
Mhm.
the FPV started to pick up mostly because before then, these were the brave people.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had to basically DIY the drones, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I
they
understand.
they had to get this Nintendo controllers, take the gyroscope out of it, and they didn't have any carbon fiber, you know.
Yeah.
They just had
Yeah. They got more
wooden
creative.
frames and like it was like a cave era. But
Yeah.
if it wasn't for them, we
Mm.
wouldn't be here right now. Like FPV is coming
Yeah.
to standardization, like you know, like the USB cables are, you know, like the standard is Type C right now.
Yeah.
So the
Type C
FPV is
cable.
doing the
Right.
same thing. Yeah.
What exactly does
So
FPV stand for? Like, what's the full form of FPV?
It's a first-person view.
Oh, okay.
FPV as a word can be applied to many things. So if you want
Right.
to
Right.
like speak about exactly the drones, we use the term the racing drones. So
Oh,
it has
okay.
a different
Understood.
physics. So this is how you can identify the difference between a standard drone, which is stabilized, and an FPV drone, which is like more sports-like and for
Okay.
racing.
So like, is there like a
Uh,
camera attached to it or something like that? Like, so you can see it. Is there a
Yeah,
camera?
it has a
Oh,
camera. You see
okay.
the front view. So the DJI has the camera on the
Hmm.
downside, so it can move
Yeah,
and
it can
look
rotate.
everywhere.
Yeah, you can control it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it basically two people. Like one is the operator controlling the direction of the drone, and the other is controlling the direction of the camera. In the FPV
Uh,
drone, you do
yeah.
not have that. You only have the control of the drone, and the camera is fixed in
Camera
place.
fixed.
So
Okay.
you just need to tilt your drone to look elsewhere.
There's the camera. Okay, I get
Yeah,
that.
it's
Okay.
difference in the physics in this matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you give an overview of the technological advancements which led to
Mhm.
the evolution of FPV drones?
Yeah, as I mentioned, the gyroscope is the main thing. Like
Yeah.
gyroscopes were huge, like you know, like many
Hmm.
years ago. So now it became to a small, like a SMD chip.
Oh,
So
so it's easier to rotate it.
yeah, yeah, it could be like applied to a standard PCB board,
Okay.
and it doesn't take a lot of space. Another thing would be the brushless motors. You know, before we had these
Okay.
brushed motors that needed service that you
Hmm.
know had some expiration date, but these brushless
Oh.
motors, there's no touching. You know, so
Ah,
it can
yeah.
last for a lifetime.
It
You know,
lasts
it
a long time.
this
Yeah.
the most components are just magnets, some wire, and the ball bearing. So
That's
this is all three parts that the brushless motor has. And another thing would be the
hmm.
batteries. You know, now we use these lithium polymer batteries, which can hold
Okay. Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
more
The
energy,
weight. The
like the
weight.
ones we have on the phone. You know, like imagine taking
So kind of the
a
weight
six.
decreases then, right? The weight becomes very less.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So before we had like cadmium and cadmium
Cadmium
batteries,
battery.
which were
Yeah.
really heavy and
Heavy.
could not handle the weather, so they drained much
Yeah.
faster. So it was impossible to do
In
four
batteries.
brushless motors with a single battery, but now it's
Good.
possible.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
So
these are the main
basically,
three technologies that got involved, and this is why it became more available for everybody else.
everybody. Yeah. I mean, seeing this,
Yeah.
it's great to see how you can see how rapidly technology has evolved, right? It made this
Yeah.
FPV drone so powerful. Otherwise, without
Yeah,
the
but
technological advance,
it still has a long way to go, you
yeah,
know. These
yeah,
backpacks still are not enough
yeah,
for
technological
the
advancements will continue for a long
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
So, continuing on the same lines, what specific skills are required to mastering flying FPV drones?
Yeah, so flying FPV is a complex and
Yeah.
rewarding hobby. You know, it
Oh,
requires few skills that you could not just go without. The first
yeah.
thing would be manual flight control. You know, when you're controlling these DJI drones, you're just telling the drone where to go. You know, you're saying,
Oh,
okay, go
yeah, yeah.
left, it
Go,
goes
go
left.
left, go
In
left.
this
Yeah.
time, you're always in control. You are controlling the rhymes of the motor, so you stay in the
Oh,
air. So it even, can't
okay.
even stay in one place. So
One
you're
place. You have
always
to
in
control it.
control.
All
Yeah. So
very
you
good.
also need to have some kind of spatial awareness, you know, so
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
don't get
understand. Yeah, I understand. I understand.
yeah, and it's called like FPV navigation. So this it's a skill that you pick up after like 10
A lot of
battery
practice.
packs you fly.
A lot of
Yeah,
practice.
you also
Yeah.
need some technical knowledge to do the troubleshooting after the
Yeah,
crashes
makes sense.
happen.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. And it will happen.
requires
You cannot
discipline.
go with,
It
I'm
requires
sorry?
it requires discipline and precision, basically, right? It requires a
Yeah,
proper.
yeah, definitely. So you cannot be like a funny person and just
Yeah,
do this, you
you
know.
can't.
You
Yeah.
need to be serious about
So, do
this.
you know how to fly
Also,
FPV drones?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know how to fly FPV drones?
Yes, I've been doing it for like 5 years, and it's the best
Oh,
thing that
wow.
I found till this day. The best thing you can play and also enjoy.
Yeah, again.
But safety is really important here. You know, like if you do
Yes.
something that you shouldn't, you might get in serious trouble. You know, not right now because
It's not too big.
not
That's not a big thing right now. Yeah.
you need to have some kind of like hand and eye coordination because you need your fingers to control the drone and your
Right.
eyes to see where you're going.
Very
And
big.
patience is also very important. You know, like so basically um,
Yeah.
makes you a grown up, you know, like it grows you in a small amount of time. So that's like a important thing in this hobby. And so
Yeah.
and you might need to pick up the soldering, you know, like
Yeah.
without
Right.
soldering,
Yeah.
yeah, it will
It's all
be
part
hard
of
to.
PCB work, right? Basically, it's all part of PCB.
Yeah, you need to like do this soldering, get a
Have
normal
to have some
solder.
foundation. You have to have some foundation, right, of how the drones work. Yeah. Still, again,
Yeah,
that's a lot of discipline and precision, but still, they're good skills.
yeah,
They're good soft skills to
yeah,
learn.
yeah.
So
You
now,
need
could you
all this.
elaborate on the roles of organizations like the Federation in promoting FPV drone events, like particularly in Georgia, as you're from there?
Uh, the federation's idea from the beginning was like really simple. When I started, there were like 5 people that like knew how to do this, you know,
Okay.
not many.
Yeah.
So the problem we came up to was the information. There was no information in
Yes.
Georgian. There
Yes.
was no rules that people understand. Like you just buy these things, build it, and fly it. No, you
Right.
just need to know a few rules before you do this. Because, as I said, you might get in trouble if you like
Literally
go
plan.
at the airport. Like going to the airport sounds great, right? There's planes and
Okay,
you
but
can
it'd
see
be
all this.
dangerous. That
But
would be
this is something that will get you definitely jail time, you know? Like even if an airport sees a drone in the airport, they will stop all the flights and you know like all this like debt you
yeah.
should pay for it, you know? So you
Um,
yeah, you will go to prison for this. So definitely you need to study a lot before you try to do this, you know? You need to understand few things. So this is what the federation role was to, you know, like teach people what not to do
limiting what
and
not to do and what to do. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. To understand, tell them that there are illegal zones like airports, army bases. You shouldn't try and just impress these people, you know? You just need to find some small space like 200 meters range and just practice there and
Yeah.
see where
Yeah.
it goes. You should
Yeah.
not fly over people's
Yeah. Because otherwise,
people.
it's too dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the main reason. And after some exhibitions that we had, you know, we were showing these people some drones that we build, also like showing them how it flies, etc. So after this, government started taking a little bit of interest, and they, you know,
Yeah.
like it's their attitude. If public possesses something that they don't, they should too
They should have
also.
it. Yeah. They should. That is basically so. Now, again, that was exactly my next question. So, how do you think the federation has impacted the Georgian government?
I'm sorry, has what?
How has the federation impacted the government, basically, the government of Georgia?
Yeah, so basically we hurried them up, you know, you can say
Yeah,
something like, so basically there was no interest. They were thinking of like aerial, like army applications became more visible, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
after,
Especially
yeah, so
after the war and all.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. The Ukrainian wars, basically Ukrainians are holding these Russian tanks with just this DIY drones. You
Yeah,
that
see,
could be,
drone. Hmm.
yeah. So after government realized this, they started more interest in this. So they have some people employed that are working towards this. So we basically moved the things forward for our country. So that's what I can say for sure.
I mean, so then what is your opinion on this? I mean, you probably are a huge drones enthusiast. So I don't, so do you like the way drones are being used as a military point of view? If the governments are viewing it as like a military aspect, what do you think about that?
Yeah, you know, like for example, this GPS thing or the radar thing,
Yeah, yeah.
they all came from the army, you know, like there was no
Uh,
interest in public to develop this kind of
development technology.
technologies, and
Yeah,
the only interest was. So I understand that there is this possibility that basically anything can be used as a weapon, right?
that's true.
So
That's true. Yeah.
the idea of the federation is to show the public the better sides of this, you know, not just
Better side of it, though.
concentrate on the war and the bad things, you know. So you just need to show them what this technology is capable of, you know.
Capable of
It can do racing, it can do cinematography, it can do a lot of
a lot
things,
of
you
work.
know, for
Yeah.
people. So not
Not only
just
fun.
the,
Yeah.
yeah, but we realize that this is also the interest. So, you know,
It
like
was,
we're
it
giving,
probably was a consequence from the start only, you can say. I mean, eventually it would be inevitable that the government would take interest in using it for military action, especially after.
yeah, definitely, Krishna. Yeah, yeah, you're right. So,
And
yeah.
then now, so for someone who is new to FPV drones, what steps would you recommend them from selecting, like the controllers and, drone safety in general?
Well, the key, as I said, is like a research. You know, you need to understand and learn many things before you do this. You know, like you need to read, watch videos, like ask experienced people, and try
But
to
yeah,
adjust your expectations. You know, like everybody comes in this hobby like dreaming of taking like cool landscape
yeah,
videos, like
yeah.
flying 10 kilometers away, but you know, as I said, the reality is you just need to find some 200-meter range and just start
And start
practicing there and
practicing.
see how it goes, you
Right.
know? Yeah, so if you do not have a controller, like you can use a PlayStation or like Xbox
Oh,
controller, you can download the
can use
FPV
those.
simulator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you don't want to pay money because you do not know like if you like this or
Other
not, you
controllers, I mean, you can use those. Okay.
yeah,
That's
use
interesting.
the Xbox controller, and also you can get this simulator for free. Just try a demo,
Yeah, you
see
can
what
practice
happens.
the simulator. Yeah.
Yeah, because some
Oh,
people get dizzy, you know, like they are not able to manually control the flight, you know, it's not just someone's fault, you know, it's just how our brains are wired, you know.
yeah.
For some people, it's like when you go to the roller coaster, you know, for some people it's yeah, it's fun, but
Yes, some
for
weaknesses.
others it's like, oh my
Exactly.
God, I'm gonna,
And some
yeah.
people might feel, overconfident that they're definitely going to do it right. So that's also very dangerous, you can say.
Yeah, so
Finding
trying
the
is
right guidance is
basically
important.
free, you know, to try. But if you want to go further, then you definitely need to have some kind of income. You cannot do this without
The
income
right
for
guidance
sure.
is important. Yeah, the right guidance is important.
Yeah, yeah,
So
sure.
can you discuss the variety of FPV drones which are built in Georgia, like custom versions or already versions which are already available in the market, pre-built?
Oh, sure. So we have some kind of like LTDs registered. They are specialized in building anything that the client can require. It could be like surveillance, it could be like racing,
Oh,
whatever the
oh,
client wants. Okay, so we have few organizations who are able to do this. You know, we already have like many applications, like for example, agriculture. Okay, so you can
Yeah, yeah.
basically print
The
like
temperature,
huge
soil.
drones
Yeah.
that basically lift human person up. You
Oh,
shouldn't do that,
oh.
but you know,
Yeah,
but it can definitely lift like 80, 60 kilos up in the air, you know?
yeah, that's a
So
lot of weight.
they
Yeah.
use these drones in the agriculture. There's like also this availability of cinematography, you know, like
Yeah.
people are trying to tune their drones to get the best footage possible. It's mostly the people that do like DJI drones, you know, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
the
understand.
specialized ones. So it's a new opportunity for you to get like different kind of shots. You can follow a race car, you know, like follow a
Yeah.
drift car. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has more potential for cinematography as well. And as we talked about, like this government also is investing, you know, for the development of this field. They joined forces with this Poland government. They have built a factory in Tbilisi. It's for research and
Of
development,
drones.
basically. This is where I especially trained them, you know,
Oh. Yeah.
yeah. So I worked there for 1 month, and I trained the personnel so they better understand the drones and better be able to do this, you know.
Okay.
And also we should not like we definitely have to mention the racing part of it because it's like
Yeah.
completely different world. Like this needs a separate video for
I mean,
just to talk about the racing part of
racing
it
part.
because it's
Yeah.
really exciting, you know, and all show wise, you know, like you're looking at 8 drones racing in
The
this like
racing. Yeah, I can imagine. I can picture it. You know,
yeah,
I mean, the
it's like
wide
sounds are
variety.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. The wide variety of customization is like a lot. There's so many things. You know, like
Yeah,
people.
yeah, exactly. And you
People who
need
have different
professionals to do
interests can,
so, you know.
people who have different interests can like use the drones differently, you can say, depending on how they like it. So again,
Sure.
extending from how we talked about earlier, so how has the government's interest in FPV technology increased in areas like, like rescue operations, military applications, surveillance, etc.? Just getting a wider perspective.
Yeah, as we mentioned, like after Ukrainian war, government started more involvement in the field.
Yeah,
You know, basically they need the technology to be understood if, like, God forbid, something went wrong. You know, FPV
yeah,
is like the best way to protect yourself. You know, against Russian armies of like tanks. What Russia has is like basically endless supply of old tanks. You know, and these
yeah,
tanks cost like I don't know 5 million, 10 million each, right? So with a
yeah.
single drone that costs like $1,000, you
I
can
just
just
used on the tanks,
destroy. So
all the
it's a
tanks.
fraction of the cost, you know, like 1% of what the tank costs compared to what the drone costs.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
I
just
think
easy math, you know. So
so that's how the
definitely.
government realized the potential of drones, right? And that's how the
Yeah,
potential of
exactly.
drones.
We had few cases, like for example, in 2008, like Russian tanks came to Georgia and they were
Oh,
threatening to take this Tbilisi city. Yeah, so
oh,
if we had drones back then, we definitely would have better situation right now. Russia occupied some of the territory then and still trying to do more, you know. So we have this neighbor that's like you can say crazy neighbors, but you know, like if we can have like some kind of way to protect ourselves, you know, you do not need to send their people with the guns, you
with
know,
guns,
it
yeah,
doesn't
it's
make sense.
yeah,
We
just to
value
protect your
people.
country. Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's something like that. So yeah, everybody, and it's you have to make it easy for them to understand. And the easy way is to talk about just numbers, you know, say that 1% of the cost can
and
destroy the
lives are
hundred.
also saved. Yeah, and lives are also saved.
Yeah.
Continuing, could you share any memorable experiences or challenges you've encountered while flying FPV drones, especially in the Georgia's landscape? You know, it's a very beautiful place. So
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I'm not a long range pilot. For me, like enjoying this hobby is like doing freestyle, doing like crazy tricks. You know,
yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
calls
yeah.
it ripping, you know, like when you rip your
Shipping.
drone. So this is what gives like pleasure to me, you know. It's
Yeah,
also but if let's say I had few experiences like covering 4 to 5 kilometers in Georgia, and it was amazing. You know, if you have a
yeah.
long range drone, you should definitely invest in like
Invest in
a
that.
high definition video system. You know, it's not good for racing because it has some
Weight,
latency
yeah, the
because of
weight will be a lot.
the conversion. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but
Yeah.
if you're cruising like a bird and like
It'll
experiencing
be
the
fun.
nature,
It'll be
it's just
slim.
it's just perfect, you know. It's something that
Yeah.
everybody should try, in my opinion.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, personal stories like this, it really, kind of highlights the joy of drone flying, you can say, It's nice to hear about it. Thank you for sharing that. So again, now how has if now that we talked so much about FPV drones, how has the FPV drone community evolved in Georgia over the years?
Yeah, as I said, like when I started, there were like only 5 people and they were really hard to
Yeah,
reach, you know. But
yeah,
right now, like if you ask me, my own opinion is that all the pilots that I know are happy, we know, with what they are doing. They are part
yeah.
of something that's like, which is like technology, freedom, flying, you know, these are the things that we basically dreamed about when we were little, right?
It's it.
And
Yeah, it's all coming to
yeah,
light. It's
yeah,
all
most
coming
of
to light.
us have already like jobs, related jobs, you know, all of us
Yeah, yeah.
came different backgrounds, but now all of us have some
It's
kind
working
of job
together. Yeah.
regarding the drone. So this is definitely a thing. So drone service, like agricultural drone service, cinematography, you name it, you know, like for example, for me,
Everybody's in every field. Yeah. Like
yeah, so it's
everyone in every
meaning for me, I became like a teacher and like I never imagined myself like
I mean,
trying just to fly this drone that I
yeah.
would become some kind of, yeah,
How many
teaching.
how many people are part of the UAV Federation right now?
We do not have to this service to become a part of the federation. You know, for
Oh,
now, this is not
officially.
something. Yeah, so basically we grouped like 5 people, 5 FPV pilots that were interested in this and just developed like how to say like a sort like a information hub, you know, like if
Ah,
somebody
okay.
is struggling with something, they just can contact us. No need to become part of it and we will share our
Yeah.
information. No, we
Then
just
only.
assist anyone who is interested, you know, you just have to
Yeah.
be like from Georgia and like minimum things that will help develop this industry in Georgia, you know, like we
Yeah, I
concentrate.
understand.
So yeah, with no members, just we
And
assist as
the-
much as
an
we
official
can because it's official, we are registered, but yeah, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But still, I mean, seeing how you said, it's good to see how the community has, grown over the years and how inclusive it has
Yeah,
become.
when you have an issue, you know where to go. You know, just the first like fixing of a problem, 50% is just knowing what the problem is,
What the
right?
problem is
This is where
exactly.
we come in. We do not provide drone fixing services or anything. We just provide the right information you
Image.
need at the moment. Yeah, and we do not ask anything in return, you know. So that's
Mhm.
why
That's
we are
nice.
not putting
I
too
mean,
much time in this.
yeah,
You know, like
you said
our
yourself,
own
you guys
job.
are not commercialized. You're not making any money out of this, but yet you're spending your own money. So at
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
this point it shows
Well,
it shows your enthusiasm and your passion for drones. It is
yeah,
very
yeah.
nice. It's very
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you. Yeah, we're trying and yeah, we see the results and we're really happy about it, you know?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see the results of your work. It's always good to see.
Yeah,
So, what
yeah.
regulatory challenges and legal considerations have the FPV drone flying faced in Georgia by the government?
Okay, so like Georgia, we mostly, I shouldn't be saying this, but we're copying the other countries' laws, you know, like we are a
Oh,
little lazy. So we copied the United States laws from 2018 and just
oh,
applied to Georgia, you know, like people, as I said, in 2018, there was not much information. So we just took, not we, you know, I mean the government. They
yeah,
just
existing
copied, they
information.
made few changes, and that's basically how laws in Georgia are made. You know, we just follow other countries' experience who are much, you know, in front of us than we are. And
Makes
but
sense. Yeah.
you know, United States updated their laws and they become much strict. You know, they're
I
already strict.
understand. Hmm.
basically every FPV pilot could be like you need a spotter, you know, it's a thing like you
Like a
cannot fly
license?
one drone on your own because you have these goggles on, right? So
Oh,
you
yeah,
need
yeah.
some other person to tell you that okay, there's a car, okay, there's some people there, don't fly there. So this is required by the law, but
So to basically know, like, needed to be license, you need a license basically, like, or something like that.
yeah, so yeah, I will talk about this later, but you should have your documents in check. You know, nobody's checking right now because not many pilots are available,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
uh, like a driving license, you know, compared to 10 years ago, it was really easy to get driving license, but
Yeah,
now it's like really hard, you know?
yeah.
So same goes with the FPV. So if you're serious about this, you definitely have to like try to get all the licenses, like do all the exams and stuff like this, you know, to avoid complications in the future.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at the past evolution of drones, their uses in the war also, it's understandable that it has actually become very strict because it is
Yeah.
being used as a weapon now instead of just for fun. So it's
Yeah, yeah. So that's our goal, you know, like showing the people that this is not just a weapon, you know, this is
yeah,
an amazing
for
thing
fun
that
also.
a lot of young people can find themselves in and become professional. This is just
Yeah.
some way of, you know, it's not just like to explode tanks and do surveillance
Yeah.
and do like
I mean,
so.
when I was small myself, also, I used to have those mini drones, right? I used to get them as gifts or something, and I used to love flying
Yeah.
around those small
Yeah,
drones.
that's amazing. But you know, they are not reliable. If you crash few
Yeah, yeah.
times, they break and you just have to throw the whole thing away. And
So like this,
that's
it's
not
fun,
nice. You know, you
I was small, so it really didn't matter too much, to be honest.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I understand, but yeah, still. So we were trying to with this small window that we have before our country updates and makes the laws more strict.
Most shit.
So
Yeah.
we're trying to educate people more. So like it happened in America, you know, like the government sat down, they came up this crazy rules, and people
Oh,
protested. You know, with these
oh,
regular people actually fly the drones, you know. But if people do
yeah.
not fly drones, they do not understand, okay, the government will take new laws and it's okay, you know, nobody
Yeah, then the
cares.
people's freedom also kind of goes away. And then the people's freedom also, flying drones is gone basically.
Exactly. So they're forbidding something that they do not understand, and this shouldn't happen, you know. So our goal, as I see, to make it easier for future, you know, people who are interested in this, to make it easier for them and not just, you know, ban everything and just forget about it, you know. Yeah.
Me understand it. So now coming to the applications of FPV drones. So we've already discussed, how FPV is used in agriculture, cinematography, and military applications. So what other FPV drone applications are there beyond agriculture, cinematography, and military application, according to you?
Okay, so like as an example, I can say that people started painting house roofs. Okay,
Oh,
so you understand, right? So there's like
house roofs.
18-story building, and you need to paint like if
Yeah.
say like where you do agriculture, you know, like you need to make the sun be a little less brighter. So you apply some paint on the roof, right?
Oh,
This is
okay.
what drones are doing. So they can spray
Drones,
water and
drones are doing
spray
the painting
some.
of it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
Drones are doing the
question.
painting of it, the roof.
Yeah, so basically you need to have like how to say privately owned territory to operate with
Okay,
these huge
that makes sense.
drones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you need to have some. This is why I'm saying. So you need to have all the warrants, all the documentations in check if you want to evolve in this, you know, and just
Otherwise, you'll be
you
in
can
trouble. Yeah.
you just forget about it, you know. Under 250 grams, basically you can do everything. Everything is legal. You can fly in the parks, you know, just you know, have common sense. Do not crash into
Yeah, do
like
not
people,
crash into
right?
something.
So under 250 grams, it's considered it's not like dangerous. So basically, you can do anything. Not go in the airport, of course, but just you know, like no, you don't need the license to be doing this.
You'll be
But
doing it.
anything over 250 grams, you
It'll be
need to
dangerous.
register. You
Yeah,
need to tell the government that you are
that you are
doing
doing.
this, etc., etc. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. So now again, we've been talking about So can you expand so the entire podcast we've been talking about the weight. So can you expand a bit more on the weight factor of drones and how important it is?
Yeah, sure. So under 250, this is the field that is getting developed the fastest at the
Yeah.
moment because not many people want to comply with this FAA regulations. I'm talking about American experience, not Georgians. As I
Okay.
said, Georgia is not that controlled, so basically nobody can tell if you're running at 200. No police officer will come with a weight thing, just to weigh your drones because this is not a thing. But in America, it's definitely a thing. So people are trying to develop and make this drone safe because, as I said, racing is a really big part of it.
Yeah.
So these 250-gram drones require registration, and you cannot have races in America because standard 5-inch drone, I have it right here, is like
Oh,
this size. It definitely needs like some kind of registration, because this is
up to 50
over
grams.
this is like 700 grams. Okay, so
Oh.
basically, if you do that, you are limiting the possibility of the race industry developing. But there
Ah.
are some people that are trying to make the drones much, much less small. Like
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's very
this is like
small.
a hand size. This is like works on 4 volts compared to this. This works on like 25 volts. So like
Yeah.
really
Energy
huge.
difference also.
This is like 23 grams. If this crashes in your face, nothing will happen. This is
Is it a big
nothing.
then
But
it'll be that bigger one, then that's your
still,
thing.
people are trying to get the characteristics of this drone. This is standard racing drone because it has the characteristics that you like. You
Ah, yeah,
cannot
yeah.
enjoy and race this one. So people are trying to come up something in between that's also 250 grams and also crazy fast, like the big drones. Okay, so they
Yeah.
keep enjoying. So this is the development, like new
Yeah.
regulations bring some kind of new developments. Batteries are getting smaller and more powerful because of this. The heaviest thing that drone
Right,
has
right.
is a battery, right? Yeah, so it brings some kind of development, but we should keep on this. So government should not say like, okay, 250 grams is too much, let's do 150. Now, this will be definitely crazy because the whole industry will suffer.
Suffer,
So
yeah. So the
yeah,
weight
so
factor
basically
is
we
very
need to
important.
develop.
Yeah. So what we can say, the
You
weight
were,
factor is very important, basically. Like the weight really does matter. So different
yeah,
applications will require like different weight of the drones, right? Like racing is different.
definitely.
Like racing will have different weight of drones, agriculture will have different weights, military drones will have different.
Definitely. Yes, yes. So we need to like specify what each
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
does. This is right now that like people your age will come in this like field and
yeah.
invent new like problem solvings. Like
Right, right.
everybody wants to help the world, right? There are many problems in the world, and these drones could be something that you do not want to get up to like power line and fix something there. With
Yeah,
drones
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
I
just
understand.
yeah, something like this. So to avoid human like injuries, just we don't care about drone injuries. That's the main idea here.
Yeah, I understand. So, yeah, so now finally wrapping up, how do you see the cultural perception of FPV drone flying in Georgia? And what steps can be taken to promote its impact on the economy?
Hmm. Um. I'm not sure I get the question. Sorry. So what we can do to fix? Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, so how do you think FPV drone flying will have a positive impact on society and the economy?
So as I said, like we need some flying spaces in Tbilisi or in Georgia, so people can come out and do that there. Like for now, the main thing is like people go out in the bars and spend their money on like some alcohol and stuff like this, and
Yeah,
this doesn't give us anything. Like I want like my dream is to have some kind of like skate parks, right?
yeah,
The
statement.
skate
Yeah,
parks are becoming a thing. Yeah, like there are few in Tbilisi, so younger people can go there like with the same interest and like play there, do their tricks, and talk about this thing and develop the industry. This is
yeah, I
what the
understand.
FPV needs right now. We need some designated places where people
Yes.
can go and do this,
I
so
agree. I
younger
agree.
people come out, share information, and develop the industry. And this will definitely help the Georgian economy as well as the world economy, not just Georgia. So this is what we need. We do not want to be known for just so
Thank you, Gorgi, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. It was a pleasure having you on the podcast, and I'm sure our listeners also had like a wonderful time listening to your talk on FPV drones. Even I learned a lot today. Thank you so much.
yeah.